Hello, my name is Holly Gomez. This is The Art of Not Fitting In. This is episode 8, the final episode. How crazy is that? Hopefully you have watched every single one and made it to the end. If not, even if you've just watched one, thank you so much. I appreciate you following me on this journey. I've exhausted everything I can say about me. So I am looking forward to my next venture, which will be vlogs. I'm going to do a monthly vlog. Every month, funnily enough, and that will be from the start of July. So I'll post my first vlog at the end of July, as I've been more focused on getting this series done and out, and July, that will be my next. And I will also be recording podcast episodes, so please stay tuned for those. That'd be much appreciated. This episode is called Amor Fati. The reason being, I have a tattoo that says Amor Fati. It's by a philosopher called Frederick. I actually can't pronounce his surname, but his name is here on this card actually. This card says, "It's the stillest words that bring on the storm." Funnily enough, I just did a play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, at the Conservatoire for an end of year sharing, and I played bottom, funnily enough, and a guy gave me this card who used to be in the class but unfortunately had to leave. He obviously didn't know I had this tattoo, but it's the same philosopher who conceptualised Amor Fati. And just because I've got it, he said, "Holly, this card definitely suits you, a force of nature. All the very best for tonight, and I hope to see you in something again very soon. Break a leg." So very, very kind and very sentimental now for me. The concept of Amor Fati is to love your fate, good or bad, that you have to see everything that happens in life to you as part of life, your life's journey and your life's work, and that through the bad times you will find the good, and it's actually only with hindsight will you realise that what you thought was bad is actually just been a lesson and character building and resilience and lessons that you learn from to stand you in better stead for whenever you go through a hard time in the future. So yeah, I got this tattoo to remind myself that as I have gone through some tough times, that this is all part of life. It was done by a tattoo artist called Thomas Cardiff, who's based in London. His work is so beautiful, and you should definitely have a look at his work on Instagram. Even if you're not considering getting a tattoo, as an artist, I really appreciate and respect his work. He has a beautiful studio, and it's almost like an exhibition that you go and you're having a really beautiful experience. So it feels more than just going to a tattoo studio. So I can't speak highly enough of him. Not that he's asked me to say any of this. This is the 4th time recording this episode. The first 2 times the camera died. Also, this camera might actually die on me. And then the 3rd time my mic was upside down. Oh, is this not working? Is this off? So then that cut out the sound, or there was sound, but it sounded like it'd been recorded through a tin can. And I feel like I'm really hungry. I feel like I need a bolognese because my blood sugar is low and I don't think I'm actually making much sense. I feel like you deserve better than that for the last episode. Part of my thinking was, well, it's very in line with Amor Fati, or is it just laziness? And I kind of went with the latter. I wasn't actually going to record today or re-record today because I woke up with really, really itchy eyes. I don't actually know if the camera's going to pick this up, but I've got red eyes underneath my eyebrows and they're so itchy. So excuse me if I'm constantly itching. It just shows you that only in a matter of a day or two things can really change. it's funny because initially I thought that maybe this camera wasn't going to be as clear as I'd like, or maybe it wasn't going to pick everything up. But actually, I think maybe it's a bit too clear. So it does actually really pick up everything. There's that. I don't really know why it's happened though. I had tomatoes yesterday, so I'm wondering if possibly it's because I had tomatoes. Possibly. I know that they're really high in histamine and quite common for people with eczema to have some form of reaction. But when I reintroduced them during my nation and reintroduction diet, I was absolutely fine. Anyway, the joys. Also, what I'm really working on is I don't want to let my skin be the cause of me not doing things, because I've done that for so long. So I thought, okay, yes, I'll be more uncomfortable recording this, but also it's the reality, and I need to fight it and just do the things that I'd normally do. I think I'm maybe PMSing and the week before my period, and that's when my skin tends to really play havoc or become more volatile, because I'm also just feeling a wee bit, if I'm being honest, I'm feeling a bit drained today. I probably look it as well. So that's again just the reality. Doing things when you don't necessarily want to do them, rather than waiting for always the right moment. I've put lots of Vaseline on my eyebrows. Don't know if you can see that either, but if you have any recommendations of what you use, if anyone suffers from really itchy eyebrows, please let me know. I've asked ChatGPT and it made a concoction of, I think it was something like aloe vera, coconut oil, and something else. But it just made me more itchy. Anytime I start recording as well, this work that's being done on this other house happens. So if you can hear drilling, it's not my bedroom, but it does sound like the gardener or the workmen are in my room. But no, they're definitely not. The weather in Glasgow at the moment is really odd. It's really clammy. Like, not sunny, it's just kind of, just feels a bit kind of, whew. Anyway, not that you needed to know that. And also, I feel like possibly my mum, dad or brother are going to appear at any point. So if I cut this off, you know why. I was out a walk and I had all these thoughts and I thought, okay, I really want to add them to this episode. So this is kind of Amor Fati and random bits and bobs that I haven't yet said. So without further ado, what I was saying was Amor Fati got up to Thomas Cardiff, then went on to talk about the fact that the last episode of season 3 of White Lotus was called Amor Fati. If you haven't seen White Lotus, you should. It is incredible TV. I was so moved. I got my tattoo prior to the episode being called Amor Fati. I'm a big fan of the show, but I didn't get it after watching it. But to be honest, I probably would have done. I was that moved. What I've really learned over the past few years is health really is your wealth, and don't take anything in life for granted. I have really, really appreciated the smaller things in life, which I think I was losing track of because I was always looking for the bigger thing and the bigger meaning in everything, and more is more, and I don't know, just always looking for the next thing, never content or settled in the small things around me. Having gone through this whole process the past few years, I feel like I'm now really appreciating everything that I have in life, and I'm so much more grateful and have so much more gratitude. Albeit these are buzzwords, I really do mean that. I read a lot of Ryan Holiday books, which were very helpful when I was really in the depths of despair and uncertainty. They were great. Also, side note, I have just ordered Sally Rooney's Intermezzo, which I'm really looking forward to read, just because we're on the topic of books. I'm so much more appreciative of everything that I have in my life and all the blessings that I have. And I definitely think about it a lot more now than I ever did. I've always been a very grateful person, but I think I was missing a lot of life and missing the smaller stuff, which accumulatively compound and enrich you as a being. And have definitely enriched me. Also, what I will say is I've been built up by the support of other people. So this is not just a journey that I've gone on my own and got to the other side of it on my own. It's definitely been with the help of other people. One person in particular is my partner Molly. I'll just give her a quick shout out. Also, it's so funny, as soon as someone says partner, you know it's because they're gay or that that their partner, because usually you'd say, oh, my boyfriend. But yeah, it's always such a telling sign. My partner. She has really given me a reason to get out of bed, to keep going, to believe in myself, to push myself, and to see that there's beauty in pain. I'm very grateful and very lucky to have had her by my side throughout this process, because I know that I definitely would have struggled without her, big time. I don't know where I'd be, to be honest.
Oh, she's driving me mad.
Oh, also my mum. My mum is amazing, and she's basically like, we're very similar, but she definitely is more selfless, and I definitely look up to her. Just on this topic, I'm going to read a couple of things that I've seen on Instagram which have really resonated with me, and some words are my own, some are posts that I've reshared, but the reason I'm mentioning it is because whenever I post or repost anything that's fundamentally about being a nice person, it really resonates with people, and I get the most likes on those kind of posts, and it just shows you that everyone is looking for connection and looking for friendships, community, being a nice person, kindness, slowness, all these kind of things. Just before I read them, I was having an absolute nightmare last night with using the software and uploading my videos and editing them. As I said, I'm new to all this, and I kept getting error messages. Again, I'll put them up for you. But they kept coming up, and for some reason, I've only maybe recorded about 10 videos, but I've used about 300 gigabyte of memory on my laptop, which doesn't seem right. So it wasn't allowing me to edit videos. I thought I'd lost so much last night. So I was a bit stressed. So maybe that's also why I'm feeling a bit groggy today. I'm going to take my laptop to Apple and get someone in the Genius bar to help me, because I don't know what's going on. So the first one is, don't let social media confuse you. Values, morals and kindness is what still impresses people the most. So true. Being a nice, decent person is much more important than what you've got to show materialistically. Accolades, how fast you did your marathoning, all these kind of things. Just be a nice person. The real luxuries in life: time, health, a quiet mind, slow mornings, ability to travel, rest without guilt, a good night's sleep, calm and boring days, meaningful conversations, home-cooked meals, people you love, people who love you back. So true. Speaking of home-cooked meals, I've really got into cooking in the past year, and I have really fallen in love with the process. As I've mentioned in a previous episode, I've always had a bit of a funny relationship with food, but I've always been someone who lives to eat. Just loved making fresh food, and I really care about what I put into my body. And I see myself as a bit of a plant, needing to nourish myself in all the right ways. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's only delusional until it works. So true. Keep your heart full, your thoughts humble, your words kind, and your actions gracious. Love that one. As you find inner peace anchoring your everyday life, you find miraculous solutions mending bridges. And the last one, which is very apt, in the end, all that will matter is how deeply you loved, how truly you lived, and how gently you walked. Sorry, I'll include one which is a little diagram, and it's the title is I Cannot Control. On the outside of the circle is what others say, what others think of me, how others feel, other people's motives. And then what you can control is on the inside of the circle, my positive attitude, my inner peace, finding creative and different ways to make money, very apt, my relationships with friends and family, what I eat and how to stay healthy. So that's really, really lovely and very, very true. Just on the topic of kind of giving, I was going to say giving advice. I'm not really giving advice. I'm just sharing, imparting things that I've found some solace in and some wisdom and have helped me. I listened to a really good podcast this morning, and it was by Adam Curtis on why this moment feels so weird. I don't know if you can see. I'll put a link in. He's just done a documentary on BBC One called Shifty. I've not watched it yet, but I definitely will when I get a chance. But I'm really looking forward to it. He is fantastic, and the podcast was really, really interesting. Really, it's kind of the 80s that prompted this individualism, which is why we now feel so lonely and isolated, and we're all kind of just wandering around looking for a purpose. Maybe that doesn't resonate with everyone, but also I don't want to butcher what he says. But moving on, a girl called Clara, if you're watching this, hello, she actually sent me a picture of Emma Chamberlain, and it says Emma Chamberlain posted for months with only 30 subscribers, and then she said, thought of you, which is so sweet. I'd love to know that I am helping someone or just being a voice of comfort and possibly hope and happiness to someone. That's really my goal. Thank you so much for tuning in for this series. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you've learned something, you've been inspired, you have felt seen, you have maybe started something of your own, whether that's something creative or something business orientated, or I don't know, you just needed a bit of a push to go for it. I hope that this has maybe paved a way for you to feel like just do it. I hope that you tune in for my monthly vlogs. I will be posting them at the beginning. My first one I'll post at the end of July. That was rubbish.